Welcome to the place where we take your music and listen to it. Where we hang out. Happy days, roll another one, 'cause we're gonna have some fun. Don't forget to follow any of our affiliates.
The Bobby and Chad Show.
Roll another blunt, 'cause we're gonna light it up. Send your music in. Enjoy the tunes with me. Roll up on the screen. Take a seat with me. Send your music in. And maybe bring your friends. Take a seat with me. Enjoy the show with me. Sit back and hang out with Happy Days and me.
Jcup with a double styrofoam cup.
Tune in now to the Bobby and Chad.
That, you know what I mean? Go.
Hello, everybody. This is Jcup on another exciting episode of the Happy Daze podcast. I'm here with Corpectomy today, and we're going to be doing his interview, and I'm about to bring him on so we can introduce him. Here we go.
Jcup, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, brother? How are you today?
Dude, I'm excellent. Was that Happy Days singing in the commercial, the introduction? That's like original stuff that you guys put together for this?
Yeah. That's Acid Happy. That's Heavenly, the one you were just talking to.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
badass, dude. That's badass.
Yeah.
Real production value shit. You know, the thing is, the thing I hate about cartridges, I gotta say this right now because I just noticed this, is the ceramic, whenever it burns on the inside of blazing cartridges, that the shit always sucks. And I just got this thing too, so yeah. I was at a show yesterday. Whenever I'm at a show, I'm always like toking really, really hard. But yeah, I'm gonna ask you guys, what's your favorite strain?
Oh man, I'm super old school with it.
Yeah.
My grandpa used to grow weed all the time and stuff
Dude,
back in the day, and he grew like the real skunk strain back in the day that smelled like an actual skunk. You can't find it anymore, but if you know that would be what I'd prefer to smoke if I could find it.
It is so hard to find like good pure landrace, like something that hasn't been like ruined by pollen chuckers. I mean, you know, legal weed, it's cool, and I like the fact that, like, you know, we can enjoy it here in the United States without really having to worry about stigmatization or like any kind of legal repercussions. But I think there's a lot of poison in the weed that they sell at the dispensaries, and like it's really hard to find, like, yeah, like you said, like that pure skunk strain, like, or something that, you know, like an OG Bubba Kush or something. I'm in my 30s, so I'm kind of like old school too. I've been smoking for a minute, and yeah, I've seen how things have changed over the years. Just had to throw that out there. I'm on Happy Daze production, so of course we got to talk about weed. You know what I'm saying, man?
Yeah. Northern Lights, I had that one time. It was really nice. It was like real stringy buds, like like it's more of a sativa strain or something.
Yeah. It's got those really like airy kind of wispy buds in there. You know?
Yeah, with like really thin leaves and shit. Like, yep.
Hey man, that stuff is good. Some real stony stuff. It takes forever. You see, the thing is, like with pure sativa strains, their flowering period, it's like 7 to 8 months, and so that's why a lot of people don't grow that stuff indoors, or in general they tend to. A lot of stuff on the market today, it's flooded with indica because it's, you know, squatter plant, it has shorter flowering periods and stuff. I don't know, man. You're a real stoner, man. You know your stuff. you really know your stuff.
For sure. I've allegedly grown a lot of pot, and you know.
It's cool. Do you like doing it hydroponically or with soil? What's your medium?
I like to grow in soil. I think there's a big difference in the taste and stuff when you grow in soil as opposed to any other way.
We're never gonna beat Mother Nature. Like when I started out growing when I was like 16, it was all hydro, like all dro. And I love that stuff. I love studying it, spending hours in the library, just reading up on plant, physiology and trying to like
Mhm.
do DIY chemistry because that's basically what it is. You work with chemicals, your nitrogen, your potassium, phosphates and stuff. But like the older I get, and after spending time up in the, where are you from, by the way? I gotta ask. So you're Eastern Standard Time. Where are you guys hailing from?
Southeast Ohio is where I grew up and learned
Dude,
how to grow all my weed and stuff out in the sticks. You
dude,
know,
hell yeah, bro. Honestly, rednecks grow the best weed. Like rednecks
right,
straight
for sure.
weed. I tell you
I
what.
lived
Like,
I lived in Athens County for a long time, which is right close to Meigs County. And
okay,
I'm sure if you're a huge stoner, you've probably heard of Meigs County Gold.
yeah, no, Meigs County Gold. That name sounds familiar. You heard of the Emerald Triangle? I'm sure, like Humboldt, Trinity, like.
I lived really close to the Emerald Triangle for a couple years too.
Oh shit!
Where were we at, Jordy?
Humboldt. And we were in
No, exactly.
Crescent City.
Yeah, Crescent City is where
Yeah,
I
yeah, dude.
actually was.
It's
But yeah,
real cuts out. People don't realize how like redneck it gets out there in Northern California. It's crazy too, man, because there's so much drug money up there. It's I spent I spent a few harvest seasons out in Weaverville. That was pretty crazy. And like, yeah, like I said, rednecks know how to grow the best weed. And kind of tying back to my whole thing, like the older I get, the more I realize we can't really beat Mother Nature. Like sunshine, soil. I think there's stuff that goes on that we don't quite understand, like at an even deeper level, than just like microbiology and stuff that, chemicals and hydroponics cool. Like that shit's cool. And the weed is good. I got
absolutely.
someone who grows that way. It's a great way to grow a lot of really good flower, especially on an industrial level. But there's just something about getting back to nature, and like,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
even with your feed and stuff, going all organic is, you
yeah,
know what I mean, the
yeah.
best way. You can get different kinds of feeds that still are for, you know what I mean, the different uh life cycles or whatever that
Yeah.
are all organic. And
Yeah.
I find that it comes out tasting better and stuff. And the nutrient lock, I've
Yeah.
found that it seems like you can give them more when it's natural and they don't
Oh,
get the nutrient lock
yeah.
as easily, it
It's
seems
because
like.
the food web in there with the mycorrhiza and the trichoderma, like all that shit. Like it's kind of like with our gut health, like our microfauna and the shit inside us. Like if you nurture what's inside your gut, like you're going to be better because you're taking care of I don't know. The thing is, like nature works with like, it's crazy how like symbiosis and community like builds so much. I don't know. Like that's one of the
Right.
amazing things about music. Really, for me, it was music was a way for me to grow as a person and to find other people who I could connect with, because most of my life I didn't really feel like I had a community. I always kind of felt like an outsider wherever I went, whether it was hanging out with pot growers like early in the early 2000s, or then I enlisted in the Marine Corps. I still felt like an outsider there. And then then you EAS and you're a veteran, you feel like an outsider wherever you go because you just came out of the service. Music was a way for me. It was first really my window into rebellion, like as a kid, because I grew up in a really religious household. My parents were very strict Protestants, and then now they've converted to strict Catholicism. It's we don't get along with a lot of stuff, but
Right.
they still did right by me. I can't really, I'm not, I don't resent my parents in any way, but I had a very strict upbringing, and there was a lot of things that I wasn't allowed to consume, like as a young Christian man. But I loved loud music. Like my parents had this Boston record. I think it was their second one, "Don't Look Back."
Sounds
Those
like we came up very similar. Me and my brother were brought up Christian. He went to the Marines. I tried to go with him, but I already had a felony by then for growing weed.
sucks, dude. It
And
sucks.
so I
Honestly,
couldn't go.
growing weed too, man. Like that ain't, it's like nothing. That's just really dumb. But yeah, dude. I'm sorry you couldn't go. It's
Yeah,
it's an experience. But how many siblings do you got?
just the one. My
Mm.
brother Jordan. Here, say hi, Jordan.
What up, man? Freaking Semper Fi.
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
He's
real
my
quick.
best friend.
What was his MOS? I gotta ask real quick.
0311.
Oh shit, yeah, man, dude. I was a pogue, dude. I was
He's
so
a
pogue,
real
man.
one, yeah. He's
I
a
was
real one.
I was a heavy equipment operator.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's a smart way to go, though, brother. That's a
dude,
smart way to go.
I have this is a digression, but I had a lot of friends that deployed and who would re-enlisted and deploy because when I joined, like things were winding down like bad. Like it was like 2000, like in the 2010s, things were slowing down. So when I joined, I was in a non-deployable unit. Like all I just did was basically like pick up trash and get screamed at by the 19-year-old corporals. Like that was my life, you know. But like at the end of the day, I still felt like it was a positive experience. But yeah, you know, like
Yeah.
everywhere I went, like I just kind of always still felt like an outsider. And when I played music, I was finally, this has only really happened in a few years, you know, I found myself connecting more to people and connecting more to life, I guess, in general. Like everything kind of felt surreal. Even being in the military felt surreal. There were moments where like I was, you know, your brother probably can attest to this too, but there's just moments where you're like, I can't believe this is actually happening. Like I'm here, like in this,
Right.
you know,
Right.
even though like I had a very unremarkable career, like there were still moments in my time where like I still felt like, man, I can't I'm actually doing this shit. Like I'm here,
Right.
gonna end one day, you know. But when I'm on stage and when I'm playing music or when I'm like connecting and talking to other people about music or talking to other musicians, I feel like I'm more, I don't know, like actions in the my mindset and my actions are like one in the moment, like almost like a meditating, you know,
For
because
sure. For
I
sure.
feel like we experience life in the past because like our sensory system, like it has to take in all the inputs and shit, it has to interpret it, and then your brain basically has to create a hallucination of what is going on, so everything we're kind of seeing is in latency. But when I'm on stage and playing and stuff, or you know, yeah, anything with music, it really feels like everything is in sync all at once, you
Right.
know, and I'm really in the moment. So I don't know. It was the same thing too, listening to music growing up. Like I would spend hours in front of my parents' stereo system with the volume cranked, listening to music. And again, it was my window into rebellion, you know. Really. So like as I was always trying to find like the heaviest stuff that I could listen to at the moment. So it was a lot of Christian bands that I listened to growing up that my parents allowed me to. But you know, even then they were still like bands like POD. POD was too heavy for them. POD,
Right.
Side, shit was too heavy for them. Demon Hunter, I don't know if you remember Demon Hunter. That shit was too heavy for them. They wouldn't let me listen to that. But then one of my friends in high school, he 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 was a Jehovah Witness, and his parents were very strict, but they let him listen to whatever he wanted to. Like they let him watch R-rated movies, they let him listen to whatever he wanted to and stuff. And I gave him my iPod one day, and I was just like, "Here, bro, fill it up with like everything that's on your library." And it was all these metalcore bands like Trivium, freaking Heavy Lolo, a lot of local bands too. I'm from the Bay Area, so like San Francisco, California. Um, and there's a lot of brutal death metal also that came out of there too. Ironically, I had a lot of friends that ended up in bands like Fallujah, Logistic Slaughter,
Now,
Splattered, like a lot.
have you lived in Cali all your life? Because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
Facebook stalked you a little, and I saw Seoul, Korea. It says
yeah.
you're originally from.
I'm adopted, so I was born in Seoul. I actually just went back to Korea for the first time 6 months ago, and I was in Japan recently. I just came back a few days ago from that. Amazing. I've very lucky, and I've traveled. I've been able to travel to Europe and to Central America and to North America too. I've been to Canada and now to Asia, but I've lived in California all my life, and I've grown up in every part of California. So Central Valley, Bay Area, North. I'm living in Southern California right now in Los Angeles currently. But yeah,
Cali's a cool place. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a fun place.
it's a big state. It's a big state. It's really interesting, like how you know, there's so much Hollywood's here. There's so much business interest here. I think like California in the American Empire, it's a very imperial state because there's a lot of geopolitical interest going on. Like a lot of the farming and stuff is actually kind of like our foreign policy against Iran. These are things that I'm finding out right now. You know, it's
Right.
there's a lot of like military bases here and stuff. And it really, you know, you lived up in Northern California for a bit. You know how crazy it gets up there. Like there's
Hmm.
some things that happen up there where if we start talking about it, people would think we were insane. They think we were ranting mad. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really, we can't, you know, not going into detail. It gets crazy up there, you know, and yeah, like it's so dynamic, you know. up here, and I guess that's like, I feel like art, whatever kind of art you're doing, it should reflect real life. Like it's
Right.
easy to find inspiration and stuff because you just have to be yourself. That's all. Yeah,
For
I
sure,
love.
for sure.
I've been a music fan. I suck at music theory and shit like that, and I've always kind of like been orbiting the music scene and stuff. But for the past 3 or 4 years, I finally started doing it myself and doing it in a way that I wanted to do it. Because
So, speaking of, your music career and all that, is Corpectomy your stage name?
yeah, Corpectomy is my stage name. It's like a solo project basically, but it's growing. It's starting to get a lot more momentum than some of the other bands that I've been in, and so I'm putting a lot more focus into it. Uh, First band I joined was Infinectomy, which was with Tony. Um, he's been doing stuff for a very very long time. He's been doing music. He's been recording albums since he was like 14. He just he's always putting out music because it's just who he is as a person. But he and I were friends. Like we met each other like pre-pandemic, and so we were like hanging out then. Um, but we just started hanging out because like we were always smoking all the time. And I was like, bro, let's just do some open mics together. We might as well. Let's just get on some shows. And
Right.
he asked me to play guitar in his band, and I had some experience already, like on stage, because I did theater when I was in high school, like a few times. Then I
That's
completely,
awesome. That's awesome. When I
I had
was a real young kid, I always wanted to be an actor and stuff. So,
it's
yeah.
fun. Honestly, it's fun. I think it's more fun being ensemble than it's being lead. But like, I did theater, so I had a little bit of stage experience. But I led worship in church, because again, coming from a religious upbringing, I played guitar in a bunch of different church bands and stuff. So I kind of had experience then. But the first show we played was this hardcore show with this band called Iron Front. It was like in somebody's garage in Los Angeles. It was sick. I had no idea what I was doing, so I just stood there because like I had never played in that kind of audience before, so I just stood there terrified because I didn't really know what I was doing. Uh,
Right.
and then I just played at this I just played at a show last night at Universal Bar and Grill up in North Hollywood. Really, 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 really excellent venue. Um, I don't know what it was there, but like something he told me was like, bro, just move, just do it. Even if you fuck up. I think we were opening for Monochromatic Black. They were touring at the point, and we were opening for them. And it's like, bro, just go for it. Even if you fuck up, like it's gonna be more interesting than just you standing there. And I freaked out on stage, and since then, yeah, like I think it's finally connecting sort of like all the dots in my head, I guess. Because like up to that point, like even when I was younger, like I don't think I would have been successful in music already because like the dots hadn't quite connected in my head. Like I hadn't really
Right.
suffered enough in life to kind of understand like you need like the therapeutic part of metal. Like honestly, I was always a fan of heavy music and I always gravitated to it and listened to it, but I just hadn't experienced enough personal tragedy in my life to get to the point where it actually meant something to me, where when I played it, like I was really really feeling it, and
Right.
yeah, at that point I was homeless. Like I was living out of my van. I was cold every night, like that shit was it sucked. I my mind was fucked up. And so when I started doing metal, it was literally to like hit that pressure valve inside me and let that steam out. And so yeah, I don't know, like, because at that point, like, I'd almost lost my life at like, I guess, like, dozens of times. And so really that sort of adrenaline rush and frustration finally like took hold of my mind. And so it was on that stage, I guess, like I finally, blossomed as a death metal musician because I really I love and breathe this shit now. And I really, I don't know. It means so much to me. I think it's real life, like death metal and art. Art is it is an abstract thing, but I think what separates us from other animals is that we are animals that can visualize things inside our mind and then actually manifest it in real life. Like we can, we create stuff. Like somebody dreamed of the guitar at one point and then eventually like crafted a string instrument and created that. And so when you're creating music, music is that literally, you're manipulating sound waves and stuff. It creates structures in the air that we can't see. I don't know if any of this is making sense right now, but like it really like
I'm following you.
yeah, things finally like got really real for me. And so yeah, like the past 3 or 4 years have just been a huge, like, it's been a lot of personal growth for me, and it's been a lot of like just really, I guess, just humbling is really the only way I can explain it. You meet so many talented people when you get into music, like extremely talented people, um, who have incredible lives, who have incredible stories inside of them, and like you just realize that you're part of a larger context of things. It's not really like it's not really about you. It's more about like you're part of a community that kind of expands all throughout time. I feel like
Absolutely.
because I feel like the metal archetype, like there's always been people kind of like us, like all throughout history. We've just have manifested in different ways. I don't know how to explain it, but that's the way I
Right.
see it.
Right.
It's gonna be interesting to see where metal will be in like 30.
Have you ever seen Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny?
A long time ago, but I was like really high when I saw it. Like I was doing whipping, so I don't really remember it, bro.
The things that you were just saying put me in mind of like I don't want to ruin it for you if you don't remember. I'm just go watch that
Yeah,
movie later today. I'm telling
yeah, I need to rewatch that shit. That's probably
you, you're
honestly.
gonna love it.
Honestly, I was probably just subconsciously repeating that shit. I was probably just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, dude. So,
Oh yeah. So to
yeah,
get back to some of my questions, sorry to
yeah, sorry.
interrupt, but if you don't mind telling the audience, what is your real name?
Real name is Che. It's Korean, and then my last name is Hewer. Because I'm adopted. My family are all a bunch of Krauts who came to the freaking Midwest and settled down there in Minnesota and all that. Yeah. I think Hewer means farmer. It's like hey Hewer, like they got like a scythe or some shit.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
German. But I
That's
think
cool.
if I'm not mistaken though, I think they are from like yeah, I think yeah, Germany, but then also my grandmother is Swedish. So yeah, got a little bit of that in there too. They're
That's
very
awesome. That's
very
awesome. So you may have mentioned this already or told us the story, but how did you get your stage name?
uh I just wanted to kind of, I guess, honor the traditions of slam because a lot of slam bands have ectomy names. And I
Okay,
I
okay.
googled that. I googled that, and amazingly, corpectomy was not taken yet already. But yeah, it's just a medical procedure. I think it's a spinal removal, and I thought that badass because I'm also a
That
fan.
yeah, that is
Yeah,
badass. That's
yeah.
super badass.
I think about like yeah, aliens and monsters ripping people's spines out. So I thought, hey, taking it, I'm gonna do it. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. You should incorporate some of that ideology into some of your songs, like
oh,
what you
absolutely.
just said.
I try to keep it brutal like that. Like I love
Yeah, for sure.
you know. You a fan of horror films?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You seen any good ones
Yeah.
lately?
Not lately. Not lately. For the past, I mean, I really haven't watched a lot of horror films for a while. Like that was a big thing when I was a kid, you know.
I'm just starting to get into like slashers and like gore and stuff. If you have any recommendations, I'm all ears.
Heck yeah. Jordy, what do you recommend? You're more.
The Terrifiers are all really good.
Oh, dude,
I just
yeah,
watched
that
the remake of Children of the Corn last night. It was
That
pretty
was
good.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, he said they just remade Children of the Corn, I guess. Watch that one if you haven't. The Terrifier 3, my son said he went and saw that, but I didn't get a report back on what he thought of
yeah.
it.
Hey, Terrifier 3 was really really good. I saw that in theaters.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So where are you? Okay, we know where you're originally from. Where are you now? Where you live now?
So I live in Los Angeles. I stayed down here. Basically after I got out of the Marine Corps, I was in Oceanside for a few years and lived there up until like I don't know. I was like staying around there till like 2023, and then I started staying in Los Angeles here because I converted my van into like a little home. So I had like a bed and a toilet, a cassette toilet in there and shit. I was like showering off at the gym, and
Heck yeah.
all kinds of trouble with the cops. fucking the Oceanside PD hate me. They hate my guts. But the thing is, like, and I was also like, a lot of the times though, man, it was bullshit because like I would just be practicing my guitar. Like I would literally have my guitar like out and I have my headphones in and I'd be at a park or something and like somebody would like call the cops being like, there's a man here playing his, like, literally, man, like it's just because I was homeless, dude. It was bullshit, like, so yeah, I was like yeah, I just stayed in that area for a little bit. I was just trying to get myself established as a musician, really. And honestly too, a lot of the frustration I felt as a homeless person was like also getting into, well, that was bleeding out into my art as well too. And that also I think really informs kind of what Corpectomy is, because the other projects I was in, I couldn't really like talk about the things that I wanted to talk about, because it was other people's projects. So this really was like an outlet so I could like really just express myself for who I was and like kind of the things that I that I liked, because creatively too, I wasn't really meshing with some of the other artists that I was in bands with, because it's collaborative and I was fine with compromising. Like that is kind of like
Right.
I think that is also one of the kind of things that helps make art so amazing, is you have people who are very specialized in their craft working together in tandem as a team, saying, we're going to create something. It's kind of like, I think it reflects kind of how civilization works just in general. We're people that
Definitely.
you want to live peaceably amongst different kinds of people, and compromises, all helping each other towards a common goal. And I think that's kind of like, art is reflective of that in a lot lower stakes, kind of in like how like contact, like football is like kind of low stakes war in a sense, like, because there's no life being lost, but it's still competitive, between different areas and stuff like that. It's just, yeah. I wanted to talk about being pissed off at the cops, because I felt like they were treated like they were putting me through some bullshit, but I couldn't really do that with some of my other bands. So that's how Corpectomy started, and
That's cool.
yeah.
That kind of leads me into my next question. What is your main artistic focus?
I guess my main artistic focus is pushing through adversity and overcoming it. And even if like the situation is hopeless, still fight, like still seeing it through with some kind of sense of honor and being able to, yes, I think it's standing up for yourself really is sort of my main artistic focus. It's really, I want to make people who feel lost feel empowered. And I want people who feel different to know that no matter who they are, that's still fine. Like that's still who you should be. And because honestly, my life was really tough, like even I would say up to like a few, like maybe about a year ago, but now things are great. I'm no longer homeless. I'm
That's
in a very
wonderful.
stable situation. I have even more instruments now, because for the longest time I was just playing with one guitar, but now I have 3 more instruments. I have synthesized. I have a little home studio now. Like I'm really grateful for where I am, and I music was the vessel that brought me to this place, and it's really crazy because it's like it's death metal. That's my main focus and stuff, but like it's improved my life in so many ways, so many positive ways. I think like if I didn't have an outlet for it, I cannot imagine where my life would have been. It's made me a better father. It's made me like a better, just, a more empathic person. I know a lot of toxic people who say say they're empathic, but yeah, like it's just I feel like, yeah, it's really healed a lot of trauma that's inside of me. And I still go, I mean, even still, like everyone, like challenges don't end in your life. That's just going to happen, and I'm glad that I have this outlet that I can pursue that. I think is positive. I think it's positive that like situations that almost got me killed 10 or 15 years ago, like now what's happening is that I'm taking those experiences and I'm performing them in songs in front of audiences that I would never imagine. Like I played a show in Japan like a few days ago and it went great in front of like a packed audience. And like it's really mind blowing that those life experiences fueled like that moment, basically, that I went through all that, survived that, and now like I was able to experience that. It's really incredible. Metal's cool, and I feel like a lot of musicians can relate. This is why we do it. It's to find friends. It's to have an outlet. It's to have those moments.
Yeah, yeah. One of the really great things about metal too is it's popular every freaking where. It's popular all over the place. Like you said, you just played a show in Japan,
Yes.
like that's just awesome,
Yeah.
And I
So
know other genres of music are popular, all over the place too, but metal's big, in a lot of New Zealand, you know what I mean? Just yeah. So that
absolutely.
gives you a great you know, great way to, reach out and really touch a lot of fans and
Yeah.
get your music out there.
Yeah.
Uh,
People don't even speak the same language as I do. Like that we can understand each other, you know?
right. So, what do you think some of your biggest shortcomings as an artist are?
Oh man, I think with slam it does follow a certain formula. Like that's kind of I want to try to break out of kind of the slam formula, and expand the genre sort of more like expressive ways. So I mean, one thing I will say is a big shortcoming as a technicality. I know this is just objectively. I really don't understand music theory. I need to learn how to read notes for a guitar. I feel like understanding the actual like math behind the music is really what separates the sort of people who take it as a hobby and the people who pursue it as a profession. Because you know
Absolutely.
there's a guitar player, his name's Miles Dimitri Baker, and he plays in Ice Nine Kills. He was in Rings of Saturn for a little bit, and like he and I are friends, and he told me that he never felt like he was musically gifted, but he still put himself through the discipline of learning music theory and actually practicing, and look where it's taken him. He's touring with freaking Metallica, I think he was like his band did something for the Terrifier series too, I believe. Like, he's going places. And so just I think as my shortcomings as an artist, I definitely need to go back and study music. I need to learn theory, man. I need to crack open those
Right.
books. This I think, yeah, that's it. Oh, I'm sure there's a ton of other things too. I could probably I think songwriting, I'm trying to always continue to evolve as a songwriter. So definitely the formulas that I'm using for this last album, this last batch of songs that I wrote, I want to try not to repeat that again, because I feel like it's very easy to fall into a rut as a musician, because we're
For
creatures of habit.
sure.
You know,
For
uh,
sure. For sure.
definitely could work on my. I'm not really a lead guitar player. I definitely need to work on my lead guitar skills. That's something that I'm good at riffs, I think, but yeah, there's always something to improve on. There's always something to improve on, especially as a one man band, because I can't do everything, but I'm
For
trying to.
sure. What do you think your best quality as an artist is? You said
Uh,
we're good at riffs and stuff.
And best qualities, yeah. I mean, I try not to stand still on stage, so I think I do put on like an energetic show. And yeah, I think having focused as an artist too, like I try to make sure that the message is very clear in my music. So even if somebody doesn't listen to death metal, they understand exactly the point that I'm trying to get across. But I think that's just kind of inherent in the genre, because death metal, what I think makes it so great is that it moves from one big moment to the next, and so the listeners always kind of caught off guard with what's going to happen next, and it's always like it's just plateaus and plateaus, and then even when it like brings it down sometimes or tries to do something different, like it's so interesting because that dynamic it's so apparent against what was coming beforehand.
Right.
So yeah.
This one's kind of a two-part question, but what have your best experiences been, and what were your worst experiences as an artist?
Oh man, best experiences. Okay. Man. Well, I love it. I just love playing in front of audiences. So I mean, it's hard to pick one favorite moment, because each one like is kind of something unique to me. But I definitely say just being approached. I have been approached once in public by someone who I never had met before, and they told me that they were a huge fan of my music and that they'd seen me play live before and they thought I was amazing. And that really was just randomly out of nowhere. And this was during when I was
That
still
was
new.
awesome.
Yeah, this was when it was homeless during that time, so I was really really hungry, and I was about to go hit up this Target in this mall and go shoplift some food, and so like yeah, like hearing that was a good it felt really encouraging. So I guess like
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what kind of sticks out, and I guess being on the road with some of the bands I've been on, and being part of some of the productions, just as a crew member, and kind of seeing how people are so excited just about the music. And I remember like I was the driver and merch guy for this band called Rollo Tomasi. They're from England. They were playing their set. I remember there was a guy who came up to me during that time, and he was telling me how his brother had recently committed suicide, and he was still trying to get over that. But Rollo Tomasi meant so much to him, and I guess that was it was very very heartbreaking to hear in real life, but seeing how happy he was at the show still, and still feeling like his brother was there listening to that music, that's something that was really cool. I mean, worst moments, probably, it's probably when I was a dickhead and I would like get into shouting matches with security, like at a show or whatever. I just, I guess, yeah. You are gonna have some bad times. You fuck up on stage. That always sucks. One time, yeah. I mean, I've played shows where like the sound was like so bad because I use amp modelers, so I don't use any real amps or real drums or bass on stage. It's all through computers, so I'm completely reliant on the PA. And there's some times where like the sound is like so bad, it's hilarious, but you still push through and do your best. you know, Never
That's
give
cool.
up.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody, always talks about their 5-year plan and stuff, all that. So,
Yeah.
as an artist within the next 5 years, what do you plan to do? Where do you see yourself?
In the next 5 years, well, I am trying to take it day by day. I hope first and foremost that I'm always going to be a good and present father. So I mean that always kind of, my kids. I got 2 children. They always take priority. But it would be cool to be doing this like at a point where I'm touring pretty regularly, or I would like to run my own studio at one point because I'm learning a lot about audio engineering. That's another thing too, like why music theory is so important is because like that helps out with it does help out with the technical aspects of recording yourself and like the hardware side of,
Absolutely.
and that's a whole discipline unto itself. I mean, goddamn, like you can get like a degree like just learning on like mic placement and stuff. It's a very fine science, but if you understand the mathematics behind it, that's you can you have a lot of valuable skills and talents, and I would like to do something more related to that, especially the older I get to. And again, like I want to be more present in my kids lives. So for me, touring as a musician, you're away from family a lot, and you can play some really cool places and stuff, but I'm just not, you know I've met artists who are like, hey, fuck them kids, I want to pursue my career, and that's what's important to me in my art, and I don't care about my family. I've met people like that, and I think they're sick. I the older my kids get, I feel like I need to be there more for them, and definitely it's, I think being able to run a studio and help other musicians on their way, and help them, manifest the things that they want in this life through their dreams. Like I think that's something that I want to do the older I get. And so in 5 years, it would be cool if I was running my own studio, recording songs for artists and helping them out in that way. And just, yeah, see myself retiring and watching my kids grow. That's the dream. That's the big dream.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So
The big dream.
what are some current projects that you're working on?
So Corpectomy, obviously, I'm playing a lot of shows with him, with myself, and I have a lot more planned too. There's a lot of artists reaching out to me now that want to take me out on the road with them. So we'll see what goes on with that. I'm also going to be stagehanding at NSE Fest in Haltom, Texas. New Stand Elite is an awesome label. They have a lot of amazing bands on there, and they're going to be running a 3-day festival where they're going to be showcasing their artists. It's going to be really, really cool. I'm also helping out with this deathcore project in Florida called Inhumane Deception, and that is the brainchild of Brianna Rose. She is a vocalist, and she does really brutal deathcore, slam metalcore vocals, and she's killing it. And she's got a lot of really cool songs. We had some songs that were written for us by this guy who he used to work with Oceano, but now he manages Suffocation, which is really cool. So he ghost wrote some songs for us, and then we're gonna want to take those out on the road. I play live guitar for them, so basically my role is to make sure that the live shows go well, and we want to tour, and we want to get out there. And I think Brianna, she's a really, really cool person who has a lot of really great stuff that she's worked on, and I feel honored to be part of that project. Yeah.
Heck yeah. So what are some of the coming up shows that some of the fans can maybe catch you at?
So I am going to be playing March 22nd in the venue is somewhere in Los Angeles. It's going to be for Japan Fest, Japan Heritage Month. I think that's what it's going to be for. I also I'm going to be playing an open mic tonight in Compton, actually. So kind of short announcement, but Little Vibes on Friday at 353 West at the Wellness Center in Compton. I'm going to be playing that tonight. I'm also going to be playing stages possibly April 22nd with Dianthus and I forget the other band. Plagues of Chaos. Check them out. Check out Plagues of Chaos. Check out Dianthus. Great bands from Los Angeles. Gonna be playing with them. If I do have an offer for a show where if I take it, those are going to be canceled because have radius clauses ever been explained before on your show?
No, not yet. I don't think.
So
Please.
when you get to a point where you're signing contracts for shows, you sign something called a radius clause, where in a 90-mile radius you can't book any shows for 45 days before or after, and that's how you don't saturate the market. That's why you become a professional musician. That's why touring becomes so important, because then you're basically playing dates and waiting for those radius clauses to end, so that you can go back there and book a show again. But if I get this offer to play at this venue, which is a really, really big step up for me, then I will be signing one of those, and then all those plans are moot. So we'll see what happens, but I can't quite announce it right now. But
That's
it's
amazing. Let's keep
huge.
our fingers crossed.
It's big for me. It's really, really big, and I can't believe it's going to be happening. But yeah, there you go.
Heck yeah. Speaking of shows and all that, what's one person, dead or alive, or let's screw that. Let's do one person dead and one person alive. Any person at all that you would like to do a show for.
Oh,
You'd
God.
like for them to be in the audience watching.
Oh, Jimi Hendrix, for dead. Jimi Hendrix, hands down. The reason why I started playing guitar was because I saw footage of him playing Purple Haze, and I think this was on like 35mm film, and it was life changing. It was life changing to hear his guitar playing, to see his guitar. So I would absolutely love to either open for Jimi Hendrix. I think that'd be sick. I think if Jimi Hendrix was alive, he'd lose his mind, because like home recording is, because he always wanted to like just record music and make it himself. And like,
Yeah.
I think he thought it, he would never leave his bedroom. Like he would just be in there recording all the time, like just pumping out albums, dude. Like
Just
I
cranking
would
shit
want
out.
to show him. I would want to show him the Axe effects. Like I'd be like, bro, this is an amp model. Look what you can do with this. Like I would. Yeah, that'd be a dream gig. Living, I think it'd be cool to open for like Suffocation, or Cannibal Corpse, or Dying Fetus. Dying Fetus is a huge, huge influence for me. Love them, and yeah, those are the dream gigs.
Heck yeah. I guess you kind of answered the next part of the question as well. The next one was basically the same thing. Who, dead and alive, would you want to work with?
What do I want to work with? Okay, so deceased. I think it would be interesting to Uh, I think it'd be interesting to work with Dimebag Daryl, to be honest, as far as deceased, because he was putting out a lot of really groovy riffs that are like, kind of chromatic, kind of almost like slam a little bit. I just think he was a really talented guitar player too. I think it'd be interesting to just talk drink with him. Can't say the rest for his other bandmates, but I would yeah, I'd like to meet Dimebag. Living, I think it'd be cool to collaborate with Tosin Abasi. He's someone who I named my son after him. Actually, my son's name is Abasi Hewer. I think he's just an amazing artist, and really is like the reason why I'm doing the stuff that I do in the way that I do it. I play an 8-string guitar. I play a 6 and a 7 now, but I primarily have been playing 8-string guitars for like over a decade now at this point. I've owned I've had like custom guitars built for me too and stuff like that. That's how much I love him. But
Awesome.
yeah, Tosin Abasi, I would love to collaborate with him.
Heck yeah. Do you have any advice for any artists out there? What kind of advice would you give them?
My advice would be to play shows as much as you can, to go out into your local scene, and to don't just go out there and try to meet people so that you can get a step up in your career or something like that, but like actually go out there to like make friends and like find common things that you love and can like geek out about and like genuinely feel passionate and excited about. Make those kind of connections, make those kind of friendships, and really, don't be a dickhead, and just like go out there and try to make as many friends as possible. Even elitists, even like the cool elitists, like they got friends too. Like the gatekeepers and the really super cool elitists, like even they have a community too, and they got friends too. And they're not like don't be completely unapproachable. Like you just want to connect with as many people as possible. You want to go to as many live shows as possible and enjoy yourself. Like have a good time. Engage with the art as it's being performed on stage and just have a blast. And I think once you start doing that, you make those meaningful connections, take those opportunities as quick as you can. Like as soon as it gets offered in that moment, take it, because they come up sometimes you get opportunities that like you can't fuck off, I've made mistakes, and like I've definitely missed out on like a gig or two where like it would have like helped me, but it was on me. Like really work hard, put your all into it, and just work hard. It is a labor. This is the music business is a business, and it's an industry, and it's like there's a lot of demanding things, and there's also a standard of conduct that is expected of you as a professional that you should bring to the table. So, I mean, just be passionate about it. If you love art, honestly, if you love art, you're going to find a way to make it happen. Like, that's my advice to musicians.
Absolutely. This has been an amazing interview. I really have enjoyed all of your answers and,
Well,
your energy. You seem
thanks.
excited to be doing what you are doing and where you are in life, and that makes me excited. I'm
Hey,
glad
thank
I
you,
could bring you on and give you a little platform to maybe gain some new fans. And,
dude. Thank you
this
so
has
much,
been amazing. Yeah.
dude.
Uh,
Thank you. It's
our
wonderful.
last question, the one we always ask everybody because this is Happy Days, and of course we smoke.
Yeah.
I already know you smoke weed because we spent the first 10 minutes talking
Oh
about it.
yeah.
But how
Get
do you
out.
like to smoke your weed? Do you prefer joint or a blunt or a bong or?
Man, I'll smoke it anyway. I love dabs. Definitely love dabbing. But like, I
Do you dab? Do you dab with a bucket or do you dab with the
I got a
little dabber stick or?
I got a nail. Yeah, I got a little we got a nail, and then I just use the little stick in there. Just
Hell yeah. Yeah, I got my little grenade sitting here next to me. We got a
uh
bucket of shit. I want to get one of the ones that's got the like coil is wrapped around the bucket or whatever. It keeps it hot.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to get one of those for sure.
Yeah,
That's the real professional stoner shit.
I need to upgrade my dab rig, to be honest. Like real talk, I need to upgrade my dab rig. I do like, I like the convenience of cartridges as well too, but like nothing beats
Yeah.
flour. Nothing beats flour, honestly.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I like the dabs, like the regular dabs and shit. I can sit and, dab all the time. With the carts, they're nice. It tastes nice and stuff, but I can sit and puff on mine all day. And it don't
Yeah,
matter what kind of cart or what strength it is. It's not,
it's not the
it's
same.
like it doesn't do enough for you. You know what I mean?
It's
It's just not the
not the same
same.
thing.
Yeah,
That blast, that THC blast that you just get, man. You know.
for
Yeah,
sure. For
yeah.
sure. Hell
All right.
yeah. So we're
Excellent.
coming up on the last 5 minutes or so of the show. I guess let's do shout outs. We'll do shout outs. Who shout out anybody, everybody you want to? Who was that dude you said the alive one you said you wanted to work with? Say his name like 10 more times. We got to get
Oh,
his attention.
Tosin Obasi. Well, of course, Tosin Obasi. I'm gonna shout out my boy Tony Slam. Obviously, he's check out Infinectomy. Follow his rap project too, because he also does some rap as well. Shout out KT Foreign. He's a rapper here out in Los Angeles. I think he's really good. Really edgy, but like I think he's really talented. Sparky Made It Slap. He's a producer out of Sacramento. Amazing beat maker, amazing ear. He's working on a lot of great stuff. Uh, Shout out Mob Nell. He's an amazing rapper from Stockton. Bands as well. Shout out JB Mack. He's a rapper from Oakland who I really like. He's dropping a lot of projects pretty regularly, and I think he's amazing. Shout out Logistics Slaughter. They are a brutal death metal band from the Bay Area. Shout out Entheos. Those are my homies. Cheney's. You are amazing. Naveen, you are amazing. Naveen Koperwise, actually, that's another musician I would love to collaborate with as well. Amazing drummer, amazing guitar player, amazing songwriter, just amazing producer, amazing person too, honestly. Just, yeah, Naveen. Hell yeah, dude. Fucking amazing, dude. Mikhail Tallwalker, he's the Lisan Al Gaib of death metal. Just yeah, he's in a million different projects, but he's incredibly talented. He's going to right now studying jazz, incredible musician. So yeah, shout out Mikhail Tallwalker. Yeah, shout out my boy Marco Finco. He's in this band called Tiergi. They're from Italy. Amazing stuff. Yeah, Miles Demetri Baker, man, shout out to you. Freaking, I'm really proud of you, boy. Like, dude, so many people, honestly. It's yeah, shout out to you guys too, honestly. Thank you for bringing me onto this podcast. Like,
Thank you so much.
yeah,
Speaking of all these shout outs, that reminds me, we got to write this question down too. We don't have it written down. What is, if you could think of anybody or, invite anybody to get their interview with Happy Days, who would you want to see come on and have their artist interview done?
honestly, I would bring on my boy Jacob Welchman. He's got a podcast called the Wild Man Podcast, and they're taking off. He did this. He was in this TikTok as like this like metalhead Walmart TikTok or whatever, and it kind of blew up. So like he's been using that to kind of further his podcast. But it's really good interviews and stuff that he's got a lot of good artists, and I help out sometimes on there too. But
That's
he is
awesome. We would love to have him. We
yeah.
definitely would. We just had on Aaron Endo the other day. He
Oh no way.
does a podcast of his own and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So we
yeah.
definitely do. We interview people that do podcasts and stuff. We love to network with. Yeah, all that stuff. If you'd like, yeah, if you'd like after the show, please get a hold of him. Tell him to send us a message and
Dude,
we'll get one
he-
set up.
You'd be so down for that. He's a really cool guy. I think he'd be great on this, honestly.
Yeah, heck yeah. Once again, brother, I can't tell you enough how much I really enjoyed doing this interview with you. Like I said, I love your energy. I loved all of your answers. You know what I mean? It
Well,
was
thanks.
a great interview. It was a great
You
interview. It really
got,
was. Uh, as
you got a
far
great.
as my shout outs, I haven't been reading the comments, y'all, and I'm sorry. I was busy talking to our new friend here, but I want to shout out Ray Brown. That's a longtime good friend of mine. I saw him in the chat. So I want to say shout out to you, Ray Brown. Keep watching and share this out when you see us, buddy. We're Happy Days is going places. All
Oh yeah,
right. I think I'm gonna play our ending credits thing, and we're gonna call that a wrap.
man. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
brother.
See you later. Happy days.
Peace.
Peace, man.
Mm. Oop.
Come in and bring dicks and vaginas. We got a show for you. Bobby and Chaz are getting rowdy. So come on, juggalos, whoop whoop. Call your mom.